There are kind of two ideas that came together that resulted in the concept for the Linkin Park video. One was I had seen a videotape of an Alexander McQueen fashion show from like a long time ago. It was like 1993. They had this bank of lights facing the models. In some of the shots, you know, you can see the lights glaring into the camera and you saw the silhouette of the model and this sort of just the silhouettes of the backs of the heads of all these people in the crowd. And I thought, I just registered that as very interesting. I took that Alexander McQueen concept and we built a bank of lights that were 600 identical lights. That was a bit of an ordeal because we picked the light we wanted, my cinematographer Jeff Cutter and I, but to get 600 identical ones was a chore, and we ended up having to have them flown in from New York and Nashville and Toronto. And they're fairly common lights, but 100 is a lot, 200 is a lot, 600 is nearly impossible. It seemed like the theme of the song is "Don't ignore me." So I felt like this very simple idea of let's never show the band's face. Let's create this kind of tension and suspense where we're behind them, and that anyone watching the video is probably going to say, well, when are we going to see their faces? And so I thought that would engage a viewer in a different way where it starts to become like, well, what's going on here? Are we going to be behind them the whole time? And I knew that there was a good moment in the song that was very kind of epiphanous where I could turn around and do a 180 and finally see their faces and acknowledge them. They're very close to their fans. There was never like, you know, they were always down there talking to them and signing autographs, and they went down into the crowd between takes. A real intimacy that I hadn't seen before between fans and a band. These kids had to go crazy, you know, 30 times. I was just stunned by how they were able to sustain this energy, fully knowing, I think, that they were going to be silhouettes and that you weren't really ever going to see individual faces, but they loved that band so much. We built this set and it looked too blank to me. So I said, I feel like we have to graffiti this thing up, but it's really easy to ruin a set and do really bad versions of graffiti. So I said, well, we either have to leave it alone, or the only thing we can do is we need to have the band, who are artists, do the graffiti. I called up Joe and I said, I think we need to graffiti up the set, but the only people that can do it are you guys. And they said, well, okay, we'll come down and do it. I've been very lucky in my career. I haven't had a lot of strife or problems with bands or conflicts or disagreements, but the potential for disagreements are increased when you have 4 or 5 guys in a band. I was a little nervous because there were so many guys and because Joe had directed all the videos previously, but I will tell you, these were the nicest guys I've ever worked with. It was very flattering to be the guy they asked to do the first video that they didn't do themselves.